Makenna, round of applause. Remember writing down 2 questions, or 1 question and 2 comments.
Ready? Okay, hi everyone, thank you for being here today. My name is Makenna, and like most of you, I am a Year 1 HL Language and Literature student here at ISB. My speech that I will be giving to you today is titled Gap Year, and is about the struggles that I myself, and I'm sure many other high schoolers as well, have faced as we have been introduced to the college world. I'm talking about this topic because I feel it's very relevant and personal at this point in my junior year, and my purpose is to shed a new understanding on the idea of taking a gap year and hopefully get more people to understand my own opinion on this issue. The stylistic devices that I use in my speech are rhetoric, rhetorical questions, anaphora, and repetition, and I use them to build my credibility as a speaker to get you as an audience to listen and understand my thing. When I was 4 years old, I didn't think about college. Instead, I just dreamed of being an astronaut, and a vet, and a princess. And yes, I did say and not or, because I truly believed with all my heart that I could maintain 3 jobs, and I could do it with ease. Then I turned 5 years old, and my parents opened my college savings account. The funny thing is, I don't want to go to college. My name is Makenna, and I don't want to go to college. Okay, so maybe that statement isn't entirely true. I do want to go to college because I want to learn new things, and I do want to go to college because I don't want to find myself at 19 standing behind a counter with a headpiece stuck on asking, would you like fries with that burger? And I do want to go to college because I want to work alongside smart and innovative people who are going places in life. But I don't want to go to college because I don't want to be forced into a profession that I don't care about. And I don't want to go to college because I don't want to be embarrassed when I tell people that I won't be going to Harvard or Yale or any other Ivy League plus Stanford for that matter. And I don't want to go to college because I'm only 16 and I have no idea what I want my future to be like. But whether I want to go to college or not isn't a question. In fact, that option is out of the picture. When I went back to the States this summer, the only thing that my friends and my family seemed to want to talk to me about was college. I can't even tell you how sick I am of hearing the question, so where do you want to go to college, and what will you be studying? When I was 11, I entered middle school, and I learned the importance of doing my homework and getting good grades. When I asked why, my parents would always respond with to get into a good college. When I was 14, I entered high school and I opened my own Naviance account. When I was 15, I went on 12 college tours in the summer of 2013. Now I'm 16 and I'm watching my own closest friends bang their head against the table and rip their hair out as they try and fill out their college apps. When I ask them where they're applying to, they proudly recite their list like names off roll call. When I ask them what they're going to be studying, they state their major without any hesitation. But when I ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they say, I have no freaking idea. Now I'm 16, and unlike my sweet, naive 4-year-old self, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I think about how in a year and a half, that will be me ripping my hair out as I try and fill out my college apps. And then I think to myself, well, what is it worth? I mean, technically, you can put a number value to it, and that would be 50 grand a year to be exact. But is it really worth the hair pulling, the tears, and the agony to go to a place where I'll be doing this, and this, and this? I don't know about you, but the thought of doing that, and the thought of going back to another 4 years of learning something that, to be honest, I don't even know if I'm truly passionate about, I don't think that's worth it. So, last year, I explored the idea of taking a gap year. And when I told my mom about this, she responded without a second to spare with no. At first, I was appalled by her sudden reaction to this because, well, by the time a gap year would even become relevant, I would be an adult and therefore be able to make my own decisions. So I asked her why she didn't want me taking a gap year, and she said it was because it was unnecessary and because it would cost too much money, despite the fact that she's been saving for the past 11 years to fund my college tuition. My parents say that I can go to whatever college I want to go to. The money is no issue. But then I take into consideration that they didn't even think whether I wanted to go to college or not. Well, just yet. Dan Johnston, the regional director of Pennsylvania's Higher Education Assistance Agency, who does presentations and workshops on college aid, says this. Wake-up call, that's $50,000 down the drain. I mean, it's practically your entire life down the drain. Colleges say that you can apply as undeclared, but by the time the end of the first semester rolls around, you're expected to have chosen your major. So how can colleges expect their students to choose a career path in the first 4 months of even being in college and not expect at least some students to choose wrong? You may argue against taking a gap year. You may say that it is too expensive, that my parents would have to pay for my gap year along with paying for college once the year is up. But to that I say no. That I chose to be independent, so I'll be independent. And if that means I have to get a job, then I'll get a job. And if I don't, well then maybe I'll find my life stream while I'm starving and homeless. But at least it would have been my own. It would have been my own choice. For some of you, you know what you want to be when you grow up. But for myself, and for many others, I'm sure that's not the case. So in all honesty, I ask you, is it really too much to ask for? Thank you. Moving on to my rationale. In my speech titled Gap Year, I advocate for my desire for wanting to take a gap year through my stylistic devices and my use of technology. This shows how language can be a catalyst for change, which therefore achieves one of the learning outcomes for part 1 of this course titled Language in a Cultural Context. The stylistic devices that I used were rhetoric, rhetorical questions, anaphora, and repetition. The repetition that I used in the beginning of the speech with the statement, "I don't want to go to college," is very shocking and impactful, and it immediately puts the audience into my situation and clearly states my position on the issue. The anaphora that I used shortly after were the statements, "I do want to go to college," and "I don't want to go to college," which were both repeated 3 times each, provide clear reasons for my claim that I can later support with the rest of my speech. I build my ethos by speaking in a very casual tone about a very casual subject, and I also build my ethos with my life anecdotes, like when I was 4, when I was 5, and so on. And I also build my ethos with my stand for independency towards the end. I build my pathos by talking about a relevant personal subject for both myself and the audience, and I build my logos by quoting a credible expert on this matter. The rhetorical question that I use at the end leaves the audience wondering about my topic so that they think about it even after my speech is done. And my use of technology provides a visual stimulation with both words and images that tie in with my speech and help support my claim. College is a very important part of life for a lot of people because it's the last part of our journey before we start on a path towards a career. However, for some, that path is a lot clearer than it is for others, and I hope with my speech to show how that path can be very unclear and hopefully gain more understanding and sympathy for those whose path is unclear. Thank you.
Questions? And sorry, can you bring in Tori? You brought in Tori, excellent.
What do you plan to do for your gap year if you decide to take it?
Well, I wanted to travel a lot, and I wanted to, living as an expat student, I've been to a lot of places, but I haven't been to Europe, and I kind of just wanted to see that part of the world before I yeah, I know, that's good. So yeah, I was just thinking of traveling a lot, or at least just staying in the States and doing just any programs that yeah. And that's
Do you think ISB opens up the option of the gap year, like the housing department, or do you think they don't even mention it?
I don't think they mentioned it at all. I mean, just today, we had to turn in a college sheet just today, and they didn't even ask us if maybe we didn't want to go to college. And I mean, a lot of people here do want to go to college. It's just, maybe the possibility for a gap year is in a lot of people's mind, and they just don't mention it.